Look at that. You want to learn how to make it? It's chicken marsala. It's good. Bet you like it. Yeah, let's make it together. Come on, let's start cooking. Are you ready? Let's start cooking. Got some salted water boiling. We're gonna add our pasta. Now, I am just using spaghetti. You can use any pasta you'd like. Whoa, see? Don't break it in half. You break it in half in Italy, they might behead you for it. Not sure. Just don't do it. Don't break it. Not exactly sure why you're not supposed to break it. They just say don't. I think it has something to do with when you eat it, you're supposed to like twirl it on your fork, your tines, whatever, chopsticks, if you're using chopsticks, something like that. And if you break it in half, not quite as easy. Huh, right? Oh, that's getting a little too hot for my hand. Got my tongs. Just gonna shove that down in there, but I'm not gonna shove it to where it breaks, because again, you'll get in trouble. All right, once you get your pasta boiling, get all those down in there. I'm just going to kind of mix them up a little bit with the tongs because you want to make sure that they're not going to stick together. Also, be sure to add salt to your water, which I already did. It just adds flavor. People will tell you, oh, it's what keeps the pasta from sticking together. It's not. It is strictly for flavor. That's it. All right, got one little stubborn guy there that just doesn't want to lay down. Oh, help me, it's hot. Just got to talk to him sometimes. While the pasta's going, now comes the good stuff, the marsala chicken. Mushrooms. You've got to have mushrooms in your marsala chicken. As you know, if you've watched my other episodes, cremini mushrooms are like my go-to mushroom. They're just a meatier flavor. They're heartier. You can use anything you want. I wouldn't recommend like a portobello or a shiitake because that's going to just overtake the flavor of the marsala wine that we're going to cook with. So you can do a cremini like I'm doing, or you can just do your standard button mushroom as well. There we go. We've got those mushrooms all sliced. Now, you know me, I live in a tiny home. I don't have a lot of room, so I am going to get these out of my way while we get our chicken going. Ooh! See, I think I pissed off that noodle I yelled at about getting in the water. Now they're spitting at me. Now comes the fun part with chicken. Who doesn't have some pent up anger, right? And what better way to get rid of that pent up anger than to beat some meat? That's what we're gonna do. Now I am using a chicken breast for this application. As you know, I do like the thighs, but for when you're pounding it out and breading it, a chicken breast is a great way to go. It really, really is. It pounds out beautifully and you get a lot of bang for your buck. Best way, we're gonna butterfly it open first, which is just a fancy way of saying cutting it in half, just like that. If you put it in a baggie, it keeps the chicken pieces from flying all over your kitchen. Nobody wants chicken all over because why? You get the Ebola, salmonella. Ebola, salmonella. Now the fun part. Perfect. All right, that is a great even thickness. It's absolutely, that's gonna work great. Oh, as always, description below, whole recipe, ingredients, step by step, all of it right there. Right next to the subscribe button. Have you hit that subscribe button yet? If you haven't, it's okay. Pause the video, hit it, and come back. I won't go anywhere. I promise I'll still be right here when you're done, okay? We give you 2 episodes a week, 2. And as always, if you've got something you want to cook with me, hit me up in those comments below and let me know. My nephew, hi Sci Guy, wants me to do some more air fryer meals, so we're going to be doing some more air fryer meals. Anybody who has read my about, knows that I'm disabled. I don't go into a whole lot of details, but right now I will let you know I am currently working on a tibial fracture in my right knee and a torn ACL and PCL in my right knee. And I've also got a femur fracture in my left hip and tears in my tendons and my ligaments. So you know what? I think that deserves that sub. Whoop, my pot's walking. Flour. What do we do to the flour? We got to add some seasoning. Seasonings make everything better. Everything. Little salt, little pepper. And we are also going to add some garlic powder. We're just going to give it a little shaky shake. And then we're gonna dredge our chicken. Who doesn't like a good dredging, right? I like a good dredging every now and again. You wanna make sure and get all of it coated really, really well, just like that. So I checked the time on my pasta. Now you wanna cook it according to the directions, but you wanna stop it actually 2 minutes prior. If it tells you to cook it for 12, cook it for 10. 10 minutes, because especially if it's going to sit in the water for just a little bit, it's going to continue to cook even when it hits your plate. Otherwise, overcooked pasta is just slime. It is just a slimy mess waiting to happen. You don't want slimy pasta. Our pasta is done. You can, if I've cooked this enough that I know how long it takes, don't throw it against a wall. No matter what people tell you, don't do that. Best way to do it is just, you know what, honestly, just take a bite. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Let's start our marsala. Marsala wine in my wine glass. Why not? It's time to get our chicken going. Okay, you don't want the chicken to burn, but you need to sear it is what we're gonna do. Now, since it is pounded out fairly thin, it's only gonna take about 3 minutes per side, maybe 4. You'll know when you see it. Oil to the pan. Now, I am using an olive oil because it's going to add some more flavor to our already amazing flavors that we're going to be putting in there. It's just simply going in just like that. Nothing special, nothing to it. You want to cook the chicken first, because what we're going to do is the juice that chicken is going to release into the pan. We're going to use that. Everything is in this same pan. So all the flavor from the seasoning in that flour is going to help thicken and flavor our sauce. Forgive me, I gotta lean. I can lean and talk to you at the same time, right? I think so. Oh, it already smells so good. Oh, that is sounding beautiful. You can hear the sizzle. So I'm just gonna take a peek. Let's see what our color looks like. We want it a golden brown. Oh, we're almost there. Let it go a little bit longer. The key is not to move it around too much in the pan, because what you're doing is you are creating a crust per se, a seared, crusty goodness. And if you move it around, then you run the risk of it just kind of sliding off the chicken, and it just kind of defeats the purpose of a breaded chicken. One way you can tell when it's ready to flip, you can see where it looks like it's getting cooked. That's how you know when it's ready to flip. We are good to go. That was about 4 minutes, like I said. It's a little thicker than I was hoping. I was hoping I pounded it a little bit more, but that's okay. Cook it a little bit longer. If you're leery about it, probe it. 160 and you're good to go. Look at that beautiful color on there. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. And that is just to kind of help with a little bit more browning on the other side. I just probed it and it is perfect, 160. I'm gonna go ahead, and now like I said, remember, we're gonna use the same pan to make our marsala sauce, but we want the chicken out of there. Butter makes everything better. Oh, get those little niblets off the bottom. And then we've got garlic, minced garlic. Remember, the key with garlic, once you smell it, it's good to start adding the rest of your ingredients, because otherwise, if you let it go too long, it will burn. And you don't want to burn the garlic. Ooh, boy, does that give you a rancid flavor. And those beautiful creminis. In they go. So we're going to want to let these cook for about 3 or 4 minutes, just to kind of tenderize up just a little bit. You know what? I hope you've enjoyed these videos that we've put out at Annie's Smoking Pot. I, of course, am Annie. Thumbs up if you have. I hope you've subscribed. If you haven't, I hope you will. Those mushrooms are looking good. So now let's go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. Chicken stock. Chicken stock is going to help deglaze the bottom of the pan there, where all the little fun little niblets are. Beautiful. We've got a nice boil going. So now we're going to add our marsala wine. Whoo, howdy. Gotta love wine. We're gonna wanna let this reduce just a little bit before we go any further. This chicken is so incredibly tender. Oh, I find it easiest just to kind of slice it into like strips. It just makes it easier to eat, because when you give somebody a big old chunk of chicken, well, now they're having to try to maneuver a fork and a knife. Well, not this. This is fork tender, I tell ya. But it makes it so much easier just to slice it for them. Can you see that? Do you see that hand coming in? Do ya? He just can't wait. Nope. I just got a thumbs up from him. Did I get a thumbs up from you? Yeah, I hope so. We're gonna turn it down a little bit more, and let's add that heavy cream. Oh, I don't know what it is, but cream sauces are so good. This is going to go about 5 minutes because we want it to thicken up a bit. We want it to reduce a bit. So just let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Copyright. This is coming along beautifully. It's time to add our pasta back in. We're just going to add it right to the pan. That way the pasta is going to absorb some of that delicious flavor as well. All right, now once you get your noodles in there, we're gonna let it cook just a little bit longer, which is why you want that 2-minute window on the pasta, because we don't want to overcook the pasta, but we want it to go ahead and absorb some of that delicious flavor that's in there, and it's going to reduce the sauce down just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and add our chicken back in. That's just gonna kind of heat the chicken back through, and it's going to absorb a little bit more of that delicious flavor. Ooh. Careful though, it's hot. Let's dish up. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Look at that. Let's get some of that delicious pasta. I don't know if there's any neat way to do this. I always say it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be tasty, but it should be a little pretty, right? Chicken marsala. Quick, simple, one pan. Who doesn't like to cook with one pan? It's beautiful. You know what? Let's just add a little bit of that juicy goodness on there. Doesn't that just look good? I think you'll like it. Look at that. Fork tender. See? You twirl it. Now, if you broke your spaghetti, you wouldn't be able to twirl it. Oh, it's going to be hot. That's perfect. The noodles are perfect. That 2-minute window. Remember your 2-minute window. So when you add it in there, they were al dente when I added them. Now they are absolutely perfect. Give it a try. Give it a try. Ooh, fresh parsley, fresh basil. If you've got any of that, throw some of that on there. Maybe some fresh Parm cheese. Ooh, which I do happen to have, which I might have to add a little bit later. Fresh Parm cheese. Can't go wrong. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll catch you next time. Bye.